I want you to take massive action in the right direction today toward your passion project. That idea that's been nagging you for so long now. This is the time. What's stopping you? Maybe you have paralysis by analysis. You just have too many things to do, aren't sure which of those things are going to lead to the greatest impact, so you are stuck. Or maybe it's just you lack momentum, and it's easier to kind of just keep doing what you're doing rather than do the thing you really want to do that you get reminded of each time you have a still moment. Or maybe you know exactly what you need to do and you're afraid that you do it and it might not work or you'll look a fool. Well, I don't know what your specific idea is, but I do know that the only thing standing in your way is your level of courage. And I want to help you find that courage today, the courage to be real with yourself and others and admit what it is you want to do. Courage to admit you don't know if you have it in you to be successful. The courage to be disliked or judged by people who don't understand. This is the next simple step. I'm Paul Goldsmith. I want to encourage you to have enough courage to take the next simple step toward becoming the person you want to be and do the thing that you really want to do. Because you're not getting any younger, but you still have a chance. You still are here for a purpose, and fear and discomfort, they're just a part of life. And I think you know that by now. We all get to a certain age and you realize scary things are better faced head on than just avoided. And I'm convinced the people who actually discipline themselves to keep moving forward in the face of that fear are the ones who get the greatest satisfaction in life. And I'm personally learning to be more comfortable with getting uncomfortable because that builds resistance. I want to be a resistant and anti-fragile person that doesn't crumble under the weight of pressure or stress that just happens when you do hard things. Doing CrossFit for the last few years has taught me that. High intensity workouts are hard, but if you do one and you come out the other end a little bit stronger, you don't die, you live another day, it gives you just enough confidence that you can do it again and then again. And that actually goes into other parts of your life where you realize that doing hard things, it doesn't kill you. It allows you to build capacity to do harder things. And confidence only comes from the evidence that you can do the thing, not from believing you can, but actually doing it. So start where you're at, get some momentum, build some confidence as you go, and don't stop. If you're anxious about what to do next, maybe you just need to take action today, however small that may be, because you're not having to figure out the 10-year plan, the 5-year plan. Just figure out today what's going to help you keep moving forward. And maybe you just need some more ambition. I know I do. Now, let me define that for a moment. Ambition isn't ego or some illusions of grandeur. Ambition, in the truest sense of the word, is merely being serious enough about a goal that you're willing to do what it takes. Get to work. The literal translation comes from the Middle Ages, and it's from the Latin word ambire, which meant to go around canvassing for votes. In modern day, for example, if Hillary Clinton would have had enough ambition in 2016 to canvass for votes in Wisconsin, she may have become president of the United States. Getting all political jokes aside, I love that meaning of ambition, canvassing for votes. How cool is that? That to be ambitious merely means you're willing to go around and get enough votes for your idea to become the kind of person you want to become, to make your passion project a reality. Because every action you take today is a vote for the kind of person you want to become. Do it enough times and you'll become that person. The project becomes real. And sometimes you just need to take your own advice. If you're a parent like I am, you've probably given this advice to your kids. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks. Just do the right thing. Oh man, that's easier said than done, isn't it? There's a story going around right now that comedian Ellen DeGeneres has canceled her upcoming comedy tour dates and is leaving show business for good because people called her mean. It's clear she doesn't believe she was mean, and I don't know what the truth is. I think if you're mean to somebody, you should apologize, but that's not the point here. I don't think she should quit her career because of other people's opinions. I read a quote from her that's quite revealing. She said, "I used to say I don't care what people say about me, and now I realize that I said that during the height of my popularity." That is revealing, because it is easy to say you don't care about what people say or think about you when most of all you hear are positive things. But when somebody's negative, you hear that for sure, loud and clear. If you're going to do something new or different, something truly substantial, chances are there are going to be some people who don't like it. They like the old version of you, or they expect you to behave in a certain way according to how they think you should behave. Or some people are just triggered by your action because of something inside of them. But that's not a task for you to manage. I found some great insights about this idea in a book called The Courage to Be Disliked, which explores the principles founded by an Austrian psychiatrist named Alfred Adler. And one of the concepts in the book is the separation of task, where Adler emphasizes that much of our anxiety comes from meddling in tasks that aren't ours. He suggests that we should just clearly distinguish between what's our task and those of others, and this means not taking on responsibilities or worrying about what things that rightfully belong to other people. You can't control how others perceive you or react to you. That's their task. Your task is to live authentically and according to your values. This separation frees us all from unnecessary stress and allows you to focus on what you can control, your task. And another idea in the book is that happiness is a choice. You are not determined by your past experiences, but by the meanings you attach to them. Adler argues that we have the power to choose our own path, regardless of past trauma or failures. This means letting go of the idea that your present is dictated by your past. The past is in the past. Instead, focus on what you can do now to change your future. Now, I do think for some traumatic events, some people need professional help, need a therapist. There's no shame in that. And I'm a big believer in finding a counselor in different seasons in your life to work through hurts and hang-ups. However, I would say if you're down on yourself about not making progress on a big idea, on your dream, instead of blaming your lack of progress on this is just how you've always been, maybe you could accept that the future is totally changeable. You can be different now. You can decide to take the next simple step today toward the life you want. The new you starts now. Finally, the last idea is the title of the book, The Courage to Be Disliked. Adler points out that seeking approval from everyone is a surefire way to be unhappy. True freedom comes from having courage to be disliked by others for being true to yourself. The more I think about this one is hard. I struggle with this because I like to be liked. I'm just going to admit that. But I realize that I can't make everybody happy. That is a recipe for disaster. And I also realize that you don't need to be necessarily confrontational, that you just have to be true to your values and accept that not everybody's going to like or agree with you. And that's okay. What's important is you respect yourself enough to live according to those your own values. Maybe Nike had it right after all. Just do it. Not what some advertiser wants you to do. Don't buy some product that they're selling you, but just do the thing you know you want to do. And it's according to your values. Ironically, if you start working on the things that you truly want to work on, your passion project, you're going to be more likable in certain ways, because anytime you're talking about something and working on something that fuels you, that brings out your passion, that's inspiring to others that share that idea, that share that passion. And it's going to be a lot more attractive than just doing things because you think you ought, because somebody else thinks you ought. And I just think that the world would be a lot better place if everyone worried less about what other people think and just did the right thing, did the things that brought them life and light into the world, that helped others, but according to the way that they're driven to help others, not somebody else's model for what that looks like. That's why I have this passion project, the podcast. And if it's helpful for you, I'm glad. For those that don't appreciate it, they aren't listening. It's not for them. And that's okay too. I do thank you for listening. And if you'd like a sounding board or you need some help, feel free to reach out. I'm Paul J. Goldsmith on Instagram and X, or you can go to thenextsimplestep.com. In the meantime, go for a run, get some sun, and don't forget to have fun. I'll talk to you next time on the Next Simple Step Podcast.